Hello friends, welcome back to Rubik's Automate Academy. Today you will be learning the second type of a loop, while loop. Since you have entirely understood for loops, it is time to move on to while loops. The next lesson is going to be nested loop statements. It might sound similar to nested conditional statements, and it is a conditional statement inside another conditional statement. Similarly, a loop inside another loop. You will learn more about it in that video. If you haven't watched my previous two videos, which were about controlling the execution of a loop using the break, continue, pass and add and else clauses, then please watch. The reason is there will be a part during today's video where you will need to know these four clauses. You can find the links in the description box down below. Without wasting any much time, let's get into today's lesson. You use the while statement for situations when you are not sure how much data the application will have to process. Instead of giving Python instructions to process a certain number of items, you use the while statement to tell Python to continue processing items until it runs out of them. This type of loop can be useful when you want to perform tasks such as downloading files of unknown size. In conclusion, any situation in which you can't define at the outset how much data the application will process, while statement is the best choice. In addition, while statement will be easy to understand and easy to use in some types of situations. The while statement works with a condition or multiple conditions rather than a sequence. The condition states that the while statement should perform a task or multiple tasks until the condition is no longer true. For example, imagine a deli with a number of customers standing in front of the counter. The salesperson will continue to serve customers until no more customers are left in the line. The line could or probably will grow as other customers are handled, so it's impossible to know at the outset how many customers will be served. All the salesperson knows is to continue serving customers until no more are left. Here is an example of a while statement. This is how you write while statement in Python. Let's break this statement down so you can better understand what is happening and what will happen when you run this statement. The statement begins with the while keyword. It then adds condition as you just learned a minute ago. In this particular situation, a variable named sum must be less than 5 for this loop to continue executing the tasks that are attached to the while statement code block. Currently, nothing specifies the current value of sum, nor does the code define how the value of sum will change. The only thing that is known when Python executes the statement is that sum must be less than 5 for the loop to continue performing task. Moving on, the statement ends with a colon and tasks are indented below the statement, like you did with for loop and conditional statements. Obviously, there are no tasks listed here. I was just giving you an idea of what you would do after the colon. Because the while statement doesn't perform a series of tasks a certain number of times, creating an endless loop is possible, meaning that the loop will never end. It will keep running and running forever. For example, say that sum is set to 0 when the loop begins and the ending condition is that sum must be less than 5. If the value of sum never increases, the loop will continue executing forever until something interrupts the execution. Endless loops or infinite loops can cause all sorts of bizarre problems on your system. You can use the while statement in many ways, but the example I will show you is straightforward, meaning it is very easy to understand and it will give you an idea of how a while loop can be used. The code that we will write will display a count based on the starting and ending condition of a variable named num as an example. You can name the variable whatever you want. I want numbers 0 through 4 to print. You can set the number to whatever you like. You can set it to 10, 20, 50, etc. We will start by saying while and the condition will be num is less than 5. As you notice, we get a red line. This is because we haven't defined a variable named num. If you are using PyCharm, then whenever and wherever you are making a mistake, PyCharm will alert you. When using a while loop, you must define the variable if you haven't already defined it. If you remember, when using for loops, you don't need to define variables. Moving on, before this while statement, we will say num is equal to 0 because I want to start the count from 0 as I already told you. Then after this colon, we will print num. This will print the current value of num, and lastly we need to update the variable num to get expected results and avoid an endless loop. So after this print statement, we will say num plus equal 1. If you're confused about why I said 5 over here, even though I want the last number in the count to be 4, then I will tell you. The reason is this relational operator less than, as you see here. You should already know the meaning of this operator and what it does from a math class. If you don't know, then watch my relational operators video. Click on the I button at the top. And if you are thinking about this, then you are correct. It's just the same thing, just you are writing it differently. Now let's run this code. And see, we get the expected results. And if I here say num is less than 5 and I run it, we still get the same output. Try experimenting with the code, change it and try learning new things. For example, add multiple conditions using logical operators over here, or you can add more tasks over here, or you can try adding conditional statements to make it even more interesting. You get the idea of what I'm talking about. So friends, this is it for today. You have learned enough about loops for now. As you progress through the course, you will learn more and more about loops. If you didn't understand something, then you should have already known by now what you can do. You can tell me in the comments or you can reach out to me. You will find all of the contact details at the end of the video or on my channel. As you already know, the next thing you will learn is nested loop statements, which is also the last thing you will learn in loops. After that, we will move on to the next topic. The next video is going to be pretty easy for you since you know the concept of nested from nested conditional statements. So bye bye and I will see you in the next video. Have a tremendous day.